First, we're just going to take a look back at something that he did say. This is in regards to the match last week, Man United versus Liverpool, and he made a comment about Marcus Rashford. Let's just have a listen first to this.
I said a comment the other day on Rashford, and it made waves around the world, and I was thinking, why? I mean, it's my job to actually, as I say, give an insight, and Manchester United have lost 3 players unbelievably in that first half. You know, this is hard, this is a game, this is something that we're all desperate to win, and there's no question in a dressing room up and down the country, if someone is limping around first half and they've used their 3 subs, that the manager or someone's going to say, hey, you know, if you get a 50-50, he could be off if he gets hurt anymore. If you're a boxer and I punch in the face and you get a cut above your eye, do you think I'm going to say, oh, he looks hurt, I'm going to just start punching him to the body anymore? I mean, come on, this is hard sport, this is real life and death for us. This is what we're bred to do and what we need to do, and we have to win. And if you can get any advantages, fair advantages, as I say, I'm not talking about hurting people, I mean, it's the last thing on my mind.
That is, of course, in reference to what he said, that in the dressing room, there would be talking about how they should hurt Marcus Rashford just a little bit more. Is this the kind of conversation that does happen in the dressing room, like what he says?
I think the words "to hurt someone" is wrong. That's different. I don't think that's what Michael means. No one, well, not many, go out onto the pitch totally intended to hurt someone or do a serious injury. I think what Michael's trying to say is, growing up as kids, you was taught never show your opponent that you're hurt. So you sort of get up, dust yourself off and just get on with it, because people will play on it. And obviously, don't forget, when we were growing up, you could actually tackle. Nowadays, you can't touch anyone, so you can't really... Like 50-50 nowadays don't exist. If you slide in a 50-50, it's still a red card. So I think the whole game's changed. But just in terms of going out to hurt someone, then there's very little amount of people that do that. But if you could gain an advantage because you knew, I don't know, a certain player might be a fantastic player but is mentally weak or physically weak, then of course you play on it. You'd let them know, and it's up to them if they want to perform or not.
Paul,
as long as it's within the rules.
Within the rules. You have to add a little disclaimer there.
Paul, how about you? Have you ever had this sort of talk in the dressing room as a manager with your team?
No, and I haven't been involved when I've been a manager or been an assistant, I haven't been involved in a dressing room where that's been discussed. I think those days are behind us now. There were periods where the game was much more physical, that kind of advantage, you were able to get away with it because the protection wasn't there for the players. But now players are protected a lot more within the rules of the game. I agree with Glenn. I don't think Michael's basically saying there that someone should have gone out and purposely injured Rashford even further. I think the point he was making was, 3 changes have been made. Rashford's struggling. Play him aggressively, play him within the rules of the game, and see what happens. They're going to be in difficulty.
If someone asked you to do that, Glenn, if your manager asked you to sort of give that little extra bit of a push, how would you react to that?
Well, I've never had anyone tell me to do it. I've only ever played the game the way I've wanted to play, but there's times when I've played against a winger that I might not personally like or whatever, and I'd let him know he's had a game sort of thing. But that's not deliberately to hurt them. That's just because there's a bit more need to win the game and why you get red cards and why there's rules and stuff. So, but like I say, never have I gone into a tackle to try and actually seriously hurt someone.
And what if he's actually your England teammate? For example, like if a manager asks you to do something like that, but the guy's your teammate, national team.
Yeah, then the guy probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
So that does change the scenario a little bit.
Of course, I've had loads of times when I can see a 50-50 coming, and then you realise it's one of your mates, and you're thinking, oh, you don't really want to do this, so you take some heat out of it. But likewise, when it's somebody else, then you might not.
Now, you were saying as well, if there was a particular player that you dislike on the pitch, you would go just a little bit harder just to let him know you're at a game. Was there anyone in particular that you sort of saw that to when you were playing?
Name.
Played a
Or
few
you're digging
games.
deeper,
Yes.
Come on, Glenn, spill it all.
No, now the one that comes to mind actually is John Anarisa.
Right.
But funny enough, that was because of how he is on the pitch. But off the pitch, he's actually a really nice fella. So I actually got on really well with him. But when we used to play against each other, he used to just go a different way.
What do you mean by different? Like,
no, it's just all I mean is like off the pitch, he's a lovely guy, good to go and have a beer with, and good laugh. I don't know, on the pitch he just comes across a bit confident, I guess, and it can run people up the own way. But he'll be the first one to say the same.
I guess he gets into the zone.
gets into
too much.
Yeah, just to sort of put it that way, gets into the zone of the game.
It's not bad.